Today is October 12th, 2022. This is the regular monthly meeting of the Southwick Agricultural Commission. It is 7:02 p.m. We have present myself, Bert Hansen, Marissa Coco Obregon, Sage Fury, and on Zoom, Tammy Sayak-Basila. So that is a quorum. So we can go ahead and get started. Well, let's see, I was going to ask some folks who need to be sworn in whether they are, but they're not here. So we don't have to worry about that at the moment. Dan Cook did say he has been sworn in, even though he couldn't be here.
Cindy did do the minutes from the previous
Yes.
meeting. They are in your folder,
Yep,
I believe.
yep. I've got them. Yep. I don't know if there's any correspondence of any kind. Did you see anything, Dean? There was something just today from the town planner, John Goddard, about the master plan listening sessions that are coming up tomorrow and Saturday. So hopefully folks can attend.
There's a brochure. Is this?
Yeah, that's our new farm brochure. That's
The
actually
one that I gave you the paperwork for the other day, finally. There's a finished product.
That may be the only excuse me, the only correspondence.
She has some minutes from August 10th that have been repaired.
Okay, I
Some
think we
June
approved-
8th.
I think we approved
Oh, the
those.
budget. You have your budget report
Oh.
in here.
Okay,
You haven't spent any money yet. You still have $950.
okay. We're gonna be spending some money.
Okay,
But,
and that's pretty much about it.
okay,
Just some old minutes. And I'm assuming all of these minutes had been previously approved.
I believe so.
Yeah.
There's
We're-
no
I think we're
outstanding
current.
set of minutes.
I think we're current with minutes. Except,
Okay.
you know, we're gonna do September.
Okay, that's about it.
So, did you guys have a chance to look at
Well, what's funny is August was on the email, but not the September one. So that's actually totally new to me.
Oh, okay. We can take a minute to look at these. I have a few edits, nothing major.
Okay,
The one thing that's kind of major is that Dennis Clark is listed, but he's obviously no longer
oh, he isn't.
commissioner.
Okay,
Yeah, for both of them.
Yeah, his term ended June 30th and he chose not to renew it, so he hasn't been a member since June.
okay,
So we haven't
So
caught
I'll
that in
take
previous minutes.
off of that and the signature page.
Previous minutes. Yeah, Dennis is listed. I'm sure I commented on that.
Yeah,
At the time. Oh, here comes.
There's the mama.
yeah.
Hola, muy
Hello.
bien.
So in addition to, taking Dennis Clark off the roll, in the minutes, Zach made a motion to approve the August 10th minutes and Bert Hansen chair.
Alternate. You're an alternate, Bert.
Wow.
Voted somehow there.
Okay,
I don't know if we reflect this in the minutes or not, but Ron Chikini was voting last time, but he hadn't been sworn in yet, so he wasn't actually supposed to be voting.
so that should be abstained.
Yeah, and I actually heard from the town clerk about that. So.
Oh, wow.
We should pay attention. Yeah. Agenda. Let's see. This is. Second, top of the second page. The commission talked about creating a maintenance fund. For the properties not found.
Where the commission,
Top, very top of the first page, first line,
the first,
creating a maintenance fund. It says,
no, this is the first page,
Oh, so Sofinowski
under
Preserve,
the Sofinowski.
I think it's the
Yeah.
third line. A
oh,
maintenance
on the
fund.
one I have, it's the
Oh,
first line, but anyway.
fund, okay,
Commission talked about creating a maintenance fund.
okay.
And then under master plan, this is in there, but the deadline, one word, not capped. Should be. Open space, information such as the Southwick Agricultural Commission's real estate information.
Mhm.
And then end of that paragraph too, it says realtors, RELITORS instead of realtors. And that's it, except to take Dennis off the signature list
Mhm.
as well. Anybody else have any comments? Tammy, anything on the minutes? No? Okay.
Okay,
Okay, so I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of September 14th as amended. Somebody wanna
I'll second.
Sage seconds? And we're on Zoom, so we're gonna do a roll call vote. So Bert Hanson, aye. Sage,
Aye.
Marissa,
All right,
Tammy?
Aye.
Okay. So, new business, I want to bring up, some ideas like a meeting format. I went to a meeting of the Springfield Garden Club a couple of weeks ago. And what they do is they have, their meetings are at lunchtime. So they have a meal and then they have a business meeting and then they have a guest speaker. Now we're not going to do that, all that, but I'm wondering if we could think about having a guest speaker each month. Maybe the guest speaker comes at 6 to 6:45. And then at 7, we have our meeting. It's just another way to get people to participate with the Agriculture Commission. And Tammy, I'm wondering, maybe we could do this in conjunction with the library, because I know that the library director is very concerned about, climate and has done some things about agriculture in the past. So maybe we could work together to identify some guest speakers.
Yeah, I can ask Lynn for some of her contacts that she used for programs
Yeah, okay.
and kind of come up with topics. And sorry, I've been kind of out of it the past couple of months, but I'm slowly coming back.
Okay, well, you're here. So, yeah.
we're glad to
That's a
see
good
you,
thing.
yeah. welcome.
And we might not, be able to do this right away, starting next month, but I think it might be. I think it might
Great
be
idea.
kind of a cool thing to do, and that might be, Gene, a way that we might spend some of our budget money, because maybe these guest speakers would want some kind of an honorarium, I don't know, but could be. Okay. So we'll work on that. I wasn't able to go to the Granby Open Farm Day. I don't know, Sage, you're traveling, I know. Tammy, did you go, or Marissa?
I did,
You
yeah,
did, okay.
I did,
And
yeah.
I got an email from Zach Barnett about it, which I neglected to bring with me. But
I mean, Zach, I think we should just mention, he went to a lot of events that seemed like very family centric, that had animals. Him having a family with younger kids, it seemed really interesting that there was that offering.
mhm,
I went to totally different locations. I went to two
Oh.
places. I went to John Coward's farm. And then I also went across the road on 189 to Wilhelm Farm. John Coward's farm was awesome because it's a tobacco farm, so it was totally different from everything else that
Mhm.
is, you know, part of that list. And this is the second year he's participated in it with his family. His son was there too, so that was awesome. Kind of be able to see the generations. His son's also doing it too, so you know, his son was talking about how he grew up working that, and now he's kind of doing his venture, and people were, you know, realizing that it's still something that's alive in the 21st century. It's not a dying thing necessarily.
Mm.
And in Southwick, it's certainly not. I mean, the Howard family's from Southwick, so, but they happen to have land in Granby, and they're doing really well, and, you know, they're participating in this program of Open Farm Day. So I was really, really happy to see tobacco on there, because I think we could do something in Southwick. And when I spoke to the Cowards potentially about doing it next year, and doing a tour of the tobacco farms and barns rather, and opening them up, which was really informative. John had the tobacco leaves hanging at that point, and then he was showing people how they are dried, the methods of drying.
Mhm.
He then had finished product there as well, so you kind of saw the whole life cycle,
Ah,
which I thought was really cool. A lot of people don't understand that, and
Yeah.
understand that there's a craft to it.
mhm.
And seeing the work that goes into it gives another perspective. So when I asked the Cowards if they'd consider doing that with the barns that they have here in Southwick for next year, they said absolutely.
Oh,
So we have
awesome.
one
Yeah.
set of farmers
Yeah,
who are
thank
willing
you.
to participate. They're very kind. They always like say yes to all our crazy ideas, farm brochure, everything. So
Yeah.
they're big supporters of the AgCom.
Good.
And then the other farm was Wilhelm Farm, totally different. It's a really small vegetable stand, basically. But they have property where they also practice silviculture, which is basically the practice of managed forestry and agroforestry. They
Yep.
have a vegetable garden that's really sizable, which is where they then have their farm stand at the end of their driveway. And it was just a self-guided walking tour through their property, so really hands-off.
Mhm.
They just had posts across their property. They had goats, so the first post was at the beginning of their driveway, post 1, then go to post 2, which is their veggie patch. Post 3 takes you to the goats, post 4 takes you on a little trail to see their managed forest, and then post 5 just brings you back down the hill.
Oh,
So that was a
Yeah.
really nice way and model. I mean, we may not have the same exact farm, but just that self-guided idea is, I think, pretty awesome. You know, you don't have to necessarily have people there, you know, doing tours
Right.
or doing talking, people are working. If, I think the setting on the farm can obviously permit it, in which case, you know, it's a
Sure.
case by case basis, but it gave me the idea, okay, this is another thing, you know, if
Yeah.
someone doesn't want to stand at their farm all day and give a spiel.
Yeah. And how do you spell that family's name?
That is Wilhelm. It is Wilhelm. They're right on 189, not
Yeah.
too far from the Coward
Mhm.
farm.
Mhm. Mhm.
But really different farms,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
really
That's
cool.
interesting. And I noticed on their sort of agenda for the day that a lot of the farms were very kind of hands-on. I mean, they're doing demonstrations of, you know, sheep shearing and,
Yeah,
you know, container gardening, and we had been concerned about, well, is it gonna be too much of a burden for the farmers, you know,
Yeah.
do we need to have, you know, folks from our commission and maybe conservation as sort of, you know, docents in a way to
Yeah.
help, you know.
Yeah.
But maybe we can leave that to individual farms, you know,
yeah. I
have
mean,
somebody to,
right.
yeah.
That being said, at Wilhelm Farm, they weren't doing the tour. They just had a tent at the entrance of their driveway. There was like Granby Land Trust member and the farmer there. So they greeted people,
Oh,
but
okay.
they just, you know, let you do the tour and, kind of, you know, let you explore. But they were still there to
Mhm.
say hi. And if you had any questions.
Yeah,
I mean, you can always make it so that people have a choice whether or not they want to show, or if they want to be chaperoned by someone of the commission.
Mhm.
This way we know
Yeah.
who to target for a route, and then whoever's not on the route, people just go in and out whenever their time slot is.
Yeah, leave it up to the farmer and what
right.
their layout and setup and
Yeah.
schedule is, right?
They'll know what's best for them. Plus, if something ever happens, they can at least ward you off until it's fixed or resolved. Things
Right.
happen all the time, so you never know.
Right, okay, good. And we've talked a couple of times about the timing of our farm day. And I've been thinking in terms of like the last Saturday of August. At one of our meetings, actually, Dan Gale was here and she said, well, that might be an issue because school students, college or high school students who might have been working on the farm in the summer, end of August, they're gone, they're back to school. And would that be a, kind of a low point in terms of staffing at the farms?
Could be.
Kind of,
But Granby's is in the middle of like the first few weeks of school and they somehow make it
Yeah.
work, so.
and, yeah, so we'll have to continue to just sort of work with farmers, and see what works.
Yeah, yeah.
Could we survey could we survey the potential farms, like just gather interest and also see like how they feel? Like, I don't know when exactly like tobacco gets harvested, but just so that we're not scheduling it on a time where they're like, oh, that's when we really are in full swing, or kind of gauge from there. Like what would be best in terms of late August, early September, or whatever.
Yeah, we definitely want to work with the farmers on this and not schedule something that's
Yeah.
not going to work.
No farmers showed up.
Yeah, I mean, shucks.
Here's your map.
Yeah.
Just
So,
knock
yeah.
at the door.
I was kind of hoping that Brett would be here tonight because he's been helpful in the past with contacting some of the local farms in
Yeah.
terms of the farm brochure, for example.
Well,
We'll have to.
the one thing I kind of think we should do, and is also why I'm trying to Germany and everything kind of screwed up my schedule. I'm trying to work on getting us a website space, trying to figure out where to go and everything, but
Oh, good. Yeah.
I'm thinking mapping out all of our farmers current, getting all their information. So this way, if we have events or we have any kind of thing, we can just instantly call them. We have a direct line and we can just ask them right up front,
Mhm.
whatever it is that we need to ask them.
Yeah.
Because right now we're kind of like doing it based off memory or whatever we have geological in the system.
Like, who knows who?
Right, we're
Yeah.
going and it
Third
takes
party
time.
games.
Yeah.
So I think that we need a database of our local farmers throughout all of Southwick, even outskirts too, if we want to just include some borders to good faith
Sure.
to our other
Yeah.
communities.
Glenville
I
and-
mean,
Yeah, I think that's a good idea because, as membership changes on the commission too, to have an updated database. I mean, you can't just rely on personal connections
yeah,
to go and talk to a farmer. That should be,
yeah, you're setting it up so that no matter what, the commission can always go forward and always be there for the community. I mean, as much as we'd love to be here forever, we can't.
right. And it also gives the farmers a way of getting in touch with AgCom and making them feel like they have a link directly to it if they ever needed something. Right?
Mhm.
That's the
So-
thing too, yeah, it bridges us with them for their services
Right,
as well.
it's a two-way street.
Right. Oh, good. Okay, yeah. So the farm, that actually leads us right into the farm parade. I was at a planning board meeting a couple of weeks ago and Joe Didi happened to be there. And the Civic Fund is the organization behind the farm parade. And I was telling Gene earlier, it's kind of interesting because he took me aside at the planning board meeting and said, so I'm hearing that the Agriculture Commission needs to give us a permit for the farm parade. And I said, no, no, we would like to participate, if possible. And he said, oh, yeah, so that was good. He was happy to hear that. So I did, there's an online form, to register to participate in the parade. And so I filled that out. So hopefully we can have some kind of a presence there. Again, I was hoping some of the other members would be here because what I'd love is, maybe a tractor and a wagon with hay bales, kind of be like a hay ride kind of experience. You can bring your kids, and Zach could bring his kids and we'll ride the hay bales. And, good Southwick parade tradition, throw out candy.
Well,
Gene, oh,
being a farming parade thing, maybe we should throw out fruits.
Roots, yeah.
It'd be painful.
Yeah.
If an apple hits a kid, right?
Yeah.
I think we'd be
Wow.
handing them.
Yeah.
Or, yeah,
Imagine.
tobacco, we could throw out cigarettes. No.
It's just like the opposite of promotion though, you know, rotting out our poor kids' teeth instead of, you know,
Yeah.
giving them something sweet and what they was grown in our
Yeah.
community.
So I don't know, Marissa, I wonder, could I ask you to get in touch with Lenita, whether she might have a tractor and a
Sure,
wagon that we
yeah, I
might,
can ask
that we
her.
might,
I'm not available that day, so I can't attend.
Okay.
But I can certainly ask her.
okay, thanks. Yeah.
And just to let you know, she does hay rides here. They have
Yeah.
2
Oh,
tractors
that's
going
right.
here on
Yeah.
weekends, 12 to 5.
Mhm.
They may not have anything available this time of year,
Right. Hmm,
but
Doesn't
okay,
hurt to ask.
yeah,
Maybe they're willing to.
since it is 2,
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe she'd be willing to give up 1, but I don't know.
yeah, well, let's just check it out.
And I don't know if she's still doing, I don't know when the farmer's market ends in Lanesboro.
Hmm,
I'm not sure if those are done yet for Saturdays.
I mean, I know in years past, first of all, with this farm parade, AgCom, yeah, it's gone on without AgCom participating, much less offering a permit. So I don't know where that came from. But in years past, because it's always at this time in October, Lenita's never been able to participate because I think that farmer's market goes on until November.
hmm.
So I don't know if she'd have somebody at the farm possibly willing to do this, but I think it's
Yeah.
really busy. I don't
And
know.
we could check with others. I emailed Dave McWilliams from Conservation to see if they were participating
Mhm.
in the parade by any chance. He said, well, I won't be there unless they're holding it in Hilton Head. Apparently he's gonna be away that weekend or whatever, but he said he would check with some of the other members. So Kevin Solek might have a tractor, you know.
I think he participated last year, yeah.
Hmm.
So
So-
maybe he can be,
Hopefully.
hold it down for ag and as a former ag member, right? And not
Right,
conservation.
exactly.
So
So
two
hopefully we can get
birds
this
with one
together.
stone, yeah.
There's a sign on one side that says ag and the other side saying.
Yeah.
There you go.
Just coincidentally, I happened to be at a farm this past weekend in Somers, Connecticut. It's the Irish Bend Farm in Somers, Connecticut. We went apple picking, which was a little unfortunate. It was the last day of apple picking, and you could tell
Slim
looking at the
pickings?
trees. Yeah, most of
I
those.
think you
Yeah,
left.
but it was fun with it, and they had a hayride, which of course is why I'm thinking about this, but which is kind of a fun fact. They have 660 acres, which is huge, I think, for a New England farm. And there's one point in the farm where if you stand there, you're in Somers, Ellington, and Enfield, Connecticut at the same time, because their farm encompasses 3 towns, you know, or is
It's gonna suck.
land in 3
regulations.
towns, yeah. They've been there 160 years. That
Wow.
was pretty awesome. The guy was very friendly. Anyway, that's a tangent. Um, Let's see, so with conservation, we're gonna be at the Sofinowski Preserve this coming Sunday at 10. Our cleanup day to help cut back some of the brush and whatever that's grown up over the past 15-20 years. There doesn't seem to be a lot, a big organization. There's not much organization to the event so far, but
I did post it again.
Okay,
Got a
good.
few loves, but
Oh, you did? Okay.
not a lot of views though.
Yeah.
People, I think they'll start checking by Friday. But of course, then again, it's too late to plan, but
I mean, the way that I see this is that this is the first step in what's going to be ongoing maintenance. I don't think we're gonna get very much done in what will probably be more like a 2 or 3 hour work party.
Right.
Being a Sunday, I
Yeah.
mean, I think this is just maybe going to be staking out what we need to do, the areas that we're going to look at, bring maybe some you know, things to delineate where we're going to use the brush hogs on and whatnot.
Mhm.
I know that our first meeting there was kind of like that, but now that we've reconvened all together and discussed it, we'll bring some things, but I imagine that like, you know, if we post before and afters of whatever progress we make on on Sunday online, that might let people know, oh, this is a thing, and then we can say this is an ongoing thing. We will meet again in November, and it'll
Yeah.
be easier in November, honestly,
Oh,
because
yeah.
things will be more dead. Right now, it's still really tough,
Yeah.
like there
Yeah,
hasn't
can't
been any
see through it.
frost or anything down here yet, so there's still a lot of stuff that's like
yeah,
kicking, so it's not, weather will be nice, but for the purposes of landscape cleanup, it's not
yeah.
great.
I actually took some pictures over there around that pond, behind the Gway's house, which is, you know, they're the ones who have, Carol and Dana Gway have, you know, brought this whole issue up. Because I thought, well, gee, when the leaves fall, how are we gonna know which things to cut down? You know, I
Right.
mean, the birch trees are obvious, you know, and the maple trees, but
Right,
in terms of the brush, how do we know, you know, so.
so should we buy some tapes then from IBS to just like maybe create zones or some sort of
Or ribbon.
delineation, ribbon, yeah, like ribbon or tape or something like
Oh,
that,
okay,
like the types that
yeah,
they use.
like caution tape.
Like
Kind
the
of,
stuff that they use to
thing.
delineate like wetlands, like the DEP uses. We have that in like any hardware shop,
Mhm.
so. I was thinking we could probably have that. Do we have consensus yet on who exactly is coming? So we don't know what tools are gonna be brought yet.
right,
Well, apparently someone's posted on one of the things that I actually put up. If we look it up, one of the guys said that he's gonna be bringing actually a bunch of lawnmower, chainsaw and something else.
yeah.
And I'm gonna be bringing a chainsaw.
Okay, well, if we
yeah.
have two chainsaws, I'll bring a couple things
Oh,
too.
I have a chainsaw. Maybe.
Yeah, no, I'm not worried
Everyone
about
should
it.
have it by now.
Like pruners,
Yeah.
you know,
Think, I'll check with Ron Chikini, but he has a brush hog
right,
that he had last meeting talked about bringing.
you just mentioned wanting to get paid for the diesel, because it's expensive, so.
Yeah. no,
He
that's
volunteers time, but I think we
Yeah.
should,
That's
That's
fine.
fine. It's
Yeah.
just diesel.
We can do that.
yeah, absolutely.
Gas is expensive anyway, so it's nice
Right.
to, for people to do anything.
Get
When
'em
I
up.
asked more for an RSVP, it was from Conservation and Commission, Ag Commission members. Do we know yet? I don't know. I know in the public, we might have people who come via the Facebook post, but do we send an email out to both commissions between now and Sunday just to get like a head count?
Yeah,
It'd probably be a good thing to do.
we can do that. I don't have emails for all the conservation people. I have some.
I'll send them to you.
Hmm.
I'll send them to you.
Oh, okay.
It's cheap.
Make sure
Yeah,
we
because
can
I
coordinate.
mean, easy enough to send out an email to 10
Right.
people.
Right, just asking if they can RSVP and if they know what machinery they can bring. I'll bring donuts and coffee.
Okay. Um, I was gonna assign that to my wife Juliet, but if you wanna, if you will do it, that'd be good. And let's be sure to get reimbursed,
Okay,
you know,
we'll get a receipt.
Yeah.
Finally put the funds to use.
that's right.
I'd also suggest water too, just for those who dehydrate quick.
We should, yeah, so I'll get water.
Water. Can somebody get ribbon from IBS? I don't think I have time between
Yeah, I can do that.
now and
I'll go.
Sunday to get.
To be honest, you could probably get a dirt sheet that's no Dollar Tree.
Oh, yeah.
These are funds of this weekend, yeah.
Okay. That's good. And again, it's great to have the sense that it's gonna be a regular thing, you know.
Yes.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, maybe not December, January, February. you know,
yeah,
but-
but maybe, you know.
I could see it starting back in March because
Yeah.
the stuff would start to just before the germination hits, get the rest of it out of there or start at least.
Yeah. Although, now I said that, you know, December might be a possibility. It doesn't snow till Christmas, you know, so if you were early in December, you know, you might be able to get another day in.
I think a 3 or 4 time a year visit there should be enough. I don't think it needs to be even monthly. I think once in the spring, once in the summer, end of summer, and then if possible in the winter, if needed.
Well, I think in the beginning, though, you might have to hit it pretty hard with a couple waves.
Yeah,
And then it could just be
right.
the,
Right.
because it's bad.
It is, yeah, it is.
I mean, you could, saw those pictures that she showed us and he had a literally an open field with a tree and now you just have what it is.
Yeah.
You can't see those
Jungle.
ponds or anything.
The jungle.
I was there the other day and I kind of scared up a great blue heron.
Oh,
It flew out into the pond and landed on a rock out there, and then I'd never seen a heron over there before, so I don't know, maybe it's migrating.
yeah.
I guess we do have to keep our eyes out on inhabitants of the brush and stuff. We have to make sure no one cuts down all of a sudden something that birds living in or something. We gotta be cautious of the nature around us, at least until the season actually ends.
Right. Oh, and another question that came up with conservation was, so if we're cutting invasives or any of the stuff, but especially invasives, what do we do? Do we, if we leave it there, it could potentially still
Make
Bleach,
it worse.
seed and
Make it
bleach the roots, that's how you kill it.
Oh, okay.
You literally just bleach the roots, and it can't grow back, it dies. It absorbs it and just literally dies.
But I think we had discussed the possibility of taking it to the town,
Right.
and
Well,
just getting rid of it
oh.
for good.
Trash bags. Let's get trash bags, so at least then we have it contained.
And that's probably one of the several things that we'll figure out,
Right.
on site. You know, when we get-
Yeah, I think I'll talk with Sabrina about the invasive stuff because I know we were going to research that. We need to be really careful with yeah, how we transport it as well.
Yeah, because you don't want to spread it everywhere.
Right.
Driving down the street in your truck with the bittersweet,
Ooh,
the bittersweet berries flying.
yeah. Can you
flying
imagine?
off.
Oh, gosh, the whole town would get covered.
Oh, you yelled at for a while.
Any updates on the signs for
Yeah, I
Sophieski?
sent a draft right before coming here.
Oh, okay,
To Jean, Sage, and you.
okay.
To look at. I don't know if we can pull it up. If not, then it's something we can do at the next meeting, but it's just based off of what you had mentioned for Dismal Brook, their sign.
Mhm.
It just says the name of it. Let me see. I'm trying to bring it up.
Oh, yeah.
You have it, Sage. I'm still looking for it, even though I sent it.
It's not junk, so it actually lets me see it.
Oh, okay. Oops, yeah, I guess we can show this. Oh, anyways. Something like that. I think
Yeah.
the simpler the better.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
So,
Mhm.
what Sofinowski or what Dismal Brook, Tammy, this is what I came up with. Oops, never mind, you can't see anything.
Oh, there you go.
There you
Oh.
go.
I gotta just keep talking and it'll stay. Hello.
Looks good.
A very basic, the bottom part, Dismal Brook says, says property of South, it says like property managed by Granby Land Trust or owned by Granby Land Trust. I think saying something as simple as Town of Southwick Agricultural and Conservation Commission is not having to say like properties owned or managed, like, I mean, I think that's just too verbose.
Yeah.
Town of Southwick, Ag and Conservation, as far as I see, are the only two that really kind of
Right.
manage that. I mean,
Right.
the Town of Southwick, I think, covers everything, but
Yeah, okay, that sounds good. Thinking of any color?
I was
No.
just thinking green,
Yeah,
like the
okay.
town green. And looking at signs, I mean, the Granby Land Trust ones are nice. But the same issue as with like the conservation signs that we have in this town, they're dark green. like engraved with like white letters.
Mhm.
They're beautiful, but they're not really visible. So especially at night, you can't really see any of those signs, both for the conservation property signs
Yeah,
in Southwick as well as the Granby Land Trust signs. So I'm thinking that this should be just a different material and a white background. I think that's more bang for your buck against the brush.
Yeah,
sure.
Green is just really tough, and green can be just a town Southwick green, like town of
Yeah.
Southwick green.
although whoever makes the signs, I would ask if they have a glitter type of paint, so this way, even at night,
Oh, like a
Yeah.
reflective
yeah,
almost?
so it
Yeah,
shines.
yeah. Yeah, it would probably be Southwoods that we'd be asking for one sign, or two
Mhm.
signs, maybe one for each entrance.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think so, yeah, because coming to the south, coming
Direction.
from the north.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
and we need an entrance. And a specific entrance sign, if I can make that out of wood.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, I was hoping that if we put this sign at both entrances and exits, whatever they are, that's kind of clear, but were we thinking of putting it?
Well, we do gotta decide where we're gonna stick them, but I mean, it's still present that people see the signs, but it's not gonna always just read, enter here, exit there. People are used to seeing enter signs and exit signs, so I figure literally have something at least on the ground that just states it out.
Because some people coming in from Connecticut use the bottom entrance, or southern entrance, so.
Yeah.
I wonder if that could
Yeah.
create confusion, but
We really should make it so that people enter one way and exit from the other, so this way we stop. If we start getting traffic in there, because we're trying to make it known now. At least we
Yeah.
keep the flow correctly and people aren't trying to hit each other.
yeah, I guess I don't
It's a
know if I
blind
see
turn.
that as much of a problem. I mean, do you, living next door, have you
Yeah.
noticed if there are any?
I mean, I can't imagine, I'm trying to think, there's 4 or 5 cars there at most,
Remember, this is currently, we're starting to make people know that it exists. Right now, people don't even know it exists.
And I think that's what the signs serve, like.
Yeah.
I think
Oh, we
starting
tr-
to over label can.
Yeah, we can
backfire
try it.
too.
Try
Yeah,
the 2 signs if it
Yeah,
works.
and see what happens.
yeah, if
We
it
start
gets
getting
traffic, then we maybe need
Yeah,
to start
start getting
directing it, right?
20 cars in there,
20 cars, that would be wonderful, right?
You say that now.
Yeah.
There's
The
guys.
signs will be good because I know I've driven by it and I know it's there and I still drive by it sometimes because I just forget.
And people who live right next door forget to turn into the first driveway and they go to the second driveway.
Got 2 chances.
Now you sound like me turning into my own driveway.
Yeah, because you have that too, right?
Yep.
Let's see, so okay, science, open space plan, I have started distributing the right to farm flyers, brought them to the planning board the other night, and haven't actually done that mailing yet, but it's gonna happen soon, as we talked about, and was it here? Yeah, we talked about realtors, somewhere along the line. Someone, and forgive me for not remembering, suggested also attorneys, because attorneys get involved with real estate transactions, obviously. So, see if we can get to some attorneys as well.
Right, right. Was any announcement made about those at any select board meeting? I know you mentioned planning board, but
Yeah, that was kind of coincidental in a way, because there's a family that trying to put a farm on Meadow Lane, which is, a development near the ranch golf course, and the current residents there, there's covenants about what they can and can't do with their property, and now this farm is going to be 30 acres just beyond there, and some of the current residents are not too happy about the prospect of having cows and stuff near there. So I brought the flyers and made a statement at the planning board, because we are a right to farm.
right, exactly.
So
And it's a farming community, so deal with it.
right. So I have not done it at select board, which I should do.
Yeah, I think this would be worth just mentioning during public comments.
Mhm.
think the more visibility, and again, talking about interdepartmental support, the more everybody at town hall is aware of this. The more
Right.
information, or the more correct information can get out
Right.
to people coming in and asking about
Yeah.
stuff.
I have asked Carl Steiner how many employees there are here. He said about 30. And that he, you know, we can get it into people's mailboxes, you know, and I'm gonna do the same thing at the DPW. That's about, what did Randy say, 16 employees there. So anyway, the more, you know, the more the merrier, so to speak.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. The select board just has like good visibility, you know, like
Mm.
have people tune into that, and this is a pretty general
Mm.
announcement that I think is worth making there.
Good, good. We talked about open farm day, community garden update. Boy, the community garden's in sad shape. Both because of the drought this summer and, you know, I think I say this every meeting, but you know, the fence needs work and the
The weather did not help that at all.
It's not in good shape, but and again, I was gonna ask Ron Cicchini, who normally does the tilling, you know, perhaps the first Saturday in November, the 5th, we might do the tilling, and maybe we have a little work day at the community garden that day, you know, and shore up the fence posts and you know, do that landscaped area where the sign is, that's very overgrown. I pulled a bunch of poison ivy out of there this summer, but that's all been done so far. So
Could we have some kind of a fundraiser, like, you know, down the road a little bit, for the community garden?
sure. I'm just making a note. Yeah, that would. I don't see why not. Any ideas off the top of your head, Tammy, with?
No, not right now, but just something, I mean, obviously something related to agriculture, and I don't know whether it be, I don't know, just something kind of related or some kind of a theme that kind of like is like, you know, this is for our community garden fence or just maintenance or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, and maybe there's, again, off the top of my head, you know, maybe it's at the community garden, which would make sense. And maybe there's some kind of a raffle, you know, stop by and
Yeah.
throw a raffle. You know, so let's think about that. That's a good idea. Sure. We probably should do some fundraisers for the AgCom kind of in general.
Yeah.
We talked about possibly t-shirts.
T-shirts,
and-
yeah, I need to ask my t-shirt producing friends what the best cost could be that we could get from them.
Mhm,
T-shirt costs, yeah, because we have the design, right, the farm design, we can just slap that on there. And
mhm,
Lanita has said she'd sell that at the shop, at the farm shop, so.
mhm. Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited. We're supposed to get our master plan t-shirts at the visiting session tomorrow.
Oh, boy.
Dave McWilliams had his on the last meeting, so
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I said, where'd you get that? He said, I know people.
Oh.
Well, we could also try to either get the schools or even like the scouts to also maybe help us with fundraising too. They're always doing fundraisers.
Mhm.
What's the date connection there with the scouts?
And do the high school still have to do like volunteer community service hours and things like that?
That still
I
should be a
think
thing.
National Honor Society does. I'm not sure about all the students.
No.
I have no school connections, not yet
Yeah.
anyway. That's coming.
Few more.
Yep.
But we can check that out. And, you know. And whoever might have a requirement like that, we could, you know, sign them up. A bunch of years ago, I worked at the community food pantry for a while, and we used to get kids all the time we were kind of the only game in town because they weren't supposed to volunteer like at churches and other like any political organizations. So the food pantry boy, we had we had kids coming all the time who wanted who wanted to work there.
This would be a good fit. maybe, Yeah.
So we can, yeah, check that out. Good idea. Nothing to report on youth members of our commission. That's kind of Dan Cook's area. So in the Icon magazine, that's still,
Let me get the website
it's in,
first.
it's in, yeah.
We were
Okay, great.
thinking
Website first.
at the last meeting, and I don't know if this was mentioned at the previous meeting when you were here. But if we were to get the website up and going, we could possibly just do an
Yeah.
e-version, right?
Yeah, digital. Yeah.
Digital, so,
That's why I'm
Yeah,
trying to do the
right,
website first.
right,
Yeah.
instead of like, print would be awesome at some point, but let's see the readership, so.
Mhm. Yeah.
Did we
I-
ever get any response from town hall in terms of website? I mean, how did EDC do it, economic?
I don't know. I haven't, to tell you the truth, I haven't looked into it. I don't know how they did it. What the.
We could ask Michael
like,
McMahon,
man,
yeah, he
yeah.
would know.
I'm currently trying to check out WordPress. I just, Germany thing really took away my timetable. But if we get the pick, right now I'm thinking they might be the best way to go because of the way their layouts are.
Mhm.
But I still have to play with it to know and see the
Okay,
possibility.
good. Good, well, I'm happy to hear that you're, even though you went to Germany, you're still thinking about it. You know, that's a
And
good
these
thing.
chocolates are delicious, thank you for bringing them, very nice treat from Germany.
I think it's fun.
I can
beer.
imagine.
Yeah. How long were you there?
3 weeks.
In the middle of October.
Nice.
Right?
Yes, literally. I actually got to go to one of their little events in the town I was in. It's interesting.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Excellent. Excellent. So anybody else have anything for the good of the order, so to speak?
What would my only question would be next steps in terms of the Sofinowski garden signs? I mean, do I go and get a draft from
Southwoods?
Southwood in
Like
terms of
like
a quote and
Approved for a quote,
quote
yes.
and draft?
Yep.
An
Okay,
option.
Yep.
yeah, okay, so
Definitely.
next steps are that, okay.
We have, speaking of the community garden fence posts, under last year's budget, I bought several 4x4s from IBS, so we could use 2 of those to put in the ground and put the signs on, which I think we should do rather than putting them on a telephone pole, which we don't own. Nobody probably would complain, but you
Yeah.
never know. So we can be our own signs.
Well, I've been seeing a lot of road construction where they're replacing a lot of telephone poles. Could just take an old one.
Oh, no.
Those last for hardly ever.
That's good.
Get an old one, just put it in the ground.
Sorry to
4 feet.
interrupt, but my phone battery is about to die. So if I
Okay,
if I disappear, that's why.
okay, thanks for that heads up. We are about to adjourn anyway, I believe. So thank you so much, Tammy, for dialing in. Good to see you.
Good to be seen.
So, yeah, so I'll make a motion to adjourn. Anybody
Second,
second, Marissa? Oh, Tammy already left, so, okay, so,
She said,
yeah. Yeah, so Bert Hanson, aye, Marissa,
Aye.
Sage,
"I."
Tammy, aye.